If DHR has shown up at your front door, you probably want to know, what are my rights as a parent? You probably want to know, do I have to take a drug test? Do I have to let them in my house? The truth is, you don't have to let DHR in your house. The truth is, you're not required to take a drug test. But a lot of times, things come down to a practical effect of, do I have to do something versus should I do something? And so you have a right as a parent to stand up for your children. You have a right to make sure that DHR doesn't come into your house if you don't want them to come into your house. However, sometimes if you really get down to the nitty gritty of what we're dealing with, many parents find it easier to talk with DHR, because if you don't, and DHR has reasonable suspicion to think that something has gone on in your home or in your life that is in danger of the children, they would more than likely try to talk to you at first, sometimes bully you, but try to talk to you at first and see if you would consider entering into what's called a safety plan. That's where you as a parent get to decide where your children are going to stay while an investigation goes on in your family. If you're not willing to do that, they may actually file a request with the court for the DHR to get a temporary emergency custody order, subject to a hearing that'll happen about within the next 3 days, a 72-hour or a probable cause or a shelter care hearing. And as you get to those, then your rights as a parent are preeminent, because we need to make sure that the court has to find that there's probable cause, which means a reasonable suspicion that you have done something to take the children out of your custody on an emergency basis. You have a right to stand up for your children. You have a right to make sure that your side of the story is heard. And sometimes talking to DHR is the best. But sometimes you need to make sure that you record the conversations. You've got a right to do that. You need to make sure that you ask them to put things in writing for you. You have a right to do that. As a parent, you need to make sure that you get the details from the worker or from the investigator of what's going on and what the allegations are against you, so you know how to respond. Most importantly, you should reach out to a lawyer who handles DHR cases every day all over Alabama and knows their policies better than those workers do.